You understand they love it when you do that. When you bring a moral judgment, I'm not here to say you're wrong, but let's understand this. When you bring a moral judgment without knowing them against them for the way that they look, they feel that confirms the reason for their rebellion, if that's what you want to call it.
We were walking up to the studio as they were walking up to the studio, and my reaction was, now that was an honest reaction. My mother's reaction was to walk right up to the gal in the white blouse and say, "Are you today's guest?" Now, I almost...
You do the stand-up, Mom. Let Mom talk first.
I think you're beautiful. I saw you outdoors, and you're beautiful. But, my dears, you don't need all of this. You're already beautiful without it.
I like your shirt. I'm really kind of upset at everybody thinking that these kids are all just going to turn out wrong because of the way they're dressed. I'm a former flower child. I smoked pot. I was into non-materialism and, you know, peace and the whole bit, you know. Here I am. I've got 2 kids. I'm conforming now. I hope everybody's happy.
Are you happy?
I still have the same philosophies. I'm still a flower child inside. They finally beat me down. Don't let them do you. Okay?
We'll be back in just a moment. Yes, ma'am.
I would like to know if they think they're going to be like this for the rest of their life. I mean, are they going to be like this elderly gentleman being a punker all their life?
Hang on. Wait a minute. You feel what?
I feel it's a phase. I think it's the high school kids that just want to be themselves, and then when they, you know, get out of this stage.
I'm 24. I'm not an adolescent any longer.
It's just a phase, she hopes.
The only thing I have to say to her question, is the fact that most of the people that are sitting here are not high school students. Most of us have jobs. Most of us have college educations.
You're going to be like this for the rest of your life?
If I choose to be, yes. Just as you choose to be the way you are.
I have a question for you also.
All right, well, hang on.
How does he get his hair to stand up on end like that?
Which one? Which one? Oh, this chap, yeah. Is it hard to do that?
No, it's been like this ever since I got out of the Navy. It's always stood up like this.
Yes. Yes.
Well, I'd like to say,
Hang on just a moment, please. You know what's funny? This kind of garment will be showing up in Paris.
It already is.
Oh, it already is. All right.
read Vogue.
Yeah, well, I'm a little slow. All right. Go ahead.
Okay, what I'd first like to say is I have 2 questions. One is I don't much like how our society is either, and I'm not a punk rock. But what are we going to do about it? And second of all...
What should we do about it? What are we going to do with these people?
Well, I'm not only talking about punk rock, I'm talking about, like, our government. You know, that I'm against, too. I'm very strongly... I feel like that there's a lot of politicians. My own personal opinion is that there's a lot of them that are really crooks.
Right, they agree.
Okay, but also, too, I used to work for a school system in Texas. Okay, and I had a lot of children that used to come to me with problems, but I found the ones that were, now I'm not against you, but I found that a lot of them usually had a low self-esteem and had problems in their home that were like this.
What's the matter? No, they're saying they're emotionally healthy and yeah.
I think it's great that they have the courage to do their own thing.
Really?
Yes.
Come on.
I have raised 3 children, and they're all adults now. But if there's probably people on the street that think I look pretty funny, too.
But if your kids came home like this, come on, you'd be a little crazy.
My boy came home from college with the ponytail down to here, and I said not a word. Ask his beautiful wife.
Is that right?
That's right.
Were you a little scared, Mom would say, oh, here comes the hippie?
Oh, no. No, it was nothing like that at all.
She's always been kind of liberal, huh?
Well, her son went to ISU and was majoring in math and got straight A's. What could she say?
Is the caller there?
Yes, Phil, hi. I would like to direct this towards the doctor. She was saying that she works with younger children starting into punk phases. Well, I have a son who's 11, and I was wondering if I should try and stop this now or let him go through with it.
Well, what is he, stop what? What is he doing?
Well, already he's got this real wild punk haircut. They call it a Detroit. It's like a buzz on top, and it's like 6 inches long and back. But his friends are doing this, and I didn't see any harm in it. But now he comes home wanting his ear pierced every day, and I don't know what to do.
All I can say is just don't reject him and do everything you can to keep the gap of communication open.
Well, I tried, you know, when I was growing up, I was going through, you know, the miniskirts and the hair ratted and all the heavy makeup. My mother let me do it. I didn't go overboard. It seemed to get out of my system. I was hoping I would do the same, you know, and let him express himself.
He's not misbehaving as we might...
Absolutely not.
Well, then...
And he's doing great in school. He's a good student.
How's the school dealing with the haircut?
Well, the principal will tease the kids, you know, ask them, does he really like it? But that's about it.
Yeah. You know, really, the harder you fight and moan and groan and push and punch against this, the more attractive it becomes. I'm not suggesting that...
I know it. I understand. I'm not rebelling against it. I even took him down to the shop where they do these haircuts, and I let him get it tipped in blue the first time because he wanted to do it. I said, well, let's do it all the way.
You must have felt awful.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Well, the only thing is when we left the shop, I told him to walk ahead of me because it was down to the
I got a break. We'll be back in just a moment.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Streaks and Tips Color Glow Hair Color. When exposed to light, it'll glow in the dark.
Because they feel that it conveys a fear that we have of them. Are we afraid of them?
I think when they're your own kids, you stop being afraid. What I wanted to ask is the difference between this generation rebelling and all the others who've always wanted to dress unlike society. I wonder to what extent your rebellion is against the conditions of the nuclear threat.
Let me get Charles in here. Charles, is this...
Well, an awful lot of the lyrics are about nuclear holocaust, and the album graphics are all skulls with mohawks and that sort of thing. It's there seems to be a pervasive fear that adults are going to kill them before they get old, and
then what difference does it make? Anarchy lives, huh?
Well, some punks are anarchists, and some are Marxists, and some are nihilists, and some are Nazis. They come from all over the political spectrum. The point is that it's an independent subculture. They've got their own fanzines, their own record companies. They're not dependent on large corporations to say what they want. If a punk has something to say, they have discovered the Xerox machine. They publish it and they say it. They're not...
Without all the hocus-pocus capitalist...
You don't need an editor. You don't need Phil Donahue. You don't need anyone to say it. They have discovered the democratic implications of the Xerox machine, and I think that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Before I ask my question, I'd like you to know that I admire what you're doing because you do your own thing. However, I have a question for Derek. Since you are communicating that there are such many miseries in this world, what is your plan, since you are young, to remedy or inactions for the future?
Excuse me. I'm sorry.
You've made the point, Dareth, that you have a lot of misgivings about what you perceive to be the corruption of the world, with money and greed and poor people whose needs are going unattended, a militaristic government, etc., bombs and bullets and so on. What are you going to do, this woman asks, to attempt to redress this, to fix it?
There's no way I could do it by myself. There's no way that I could change the world. You know, I have to get, you know, unity, sorry, and all work together for the same cause.
Yeah. Dareth, you're never, ever going to be able to remove that tattoo. Does that bother you as much as I know it must bother your mother?
No. Never? I knew when I put it there that it was permanent and it was never coming off.
I don't know about you, Phil, but I would hate to wake up and look at some of those people early in the morning. That would frighten me.
We do look like hell before we get our makeup on.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I don't remember the name of the gentleman up there that's dressed like a lady, but you look like...
Al. That's Al.
Al, Do you look
better
like
watch
that?
it, my wife's gonna...
Oh. Do you look like that for 24 hours, or do you just dress like that for your band? And
Pardon me?
do you dress like that every day? I mean, do you look like that all day long?
No, my clothes would smell if I dressed like this every day. I change every so often.
But I mean, you never dress straight.
Once again, I mean, you know, what is straight and what is not? This whole classification thing is like a farce. It really is.
The man over there in the Charles said that they come from all different political spectrums, and she said that they have to have unity. I'd like to know what their unity and what their whole idea is. Why are they together? What are they going to accomplish?
I don't know whether that's I don't think that they don't claim unity. They don't march. They don't dress the same. They don't have meetings. True?
Yeah, you have to understand this is not an us against them proposition. This is everyone's in this together.
We're prepared to be tolerant of all of you, too. I mean, it's...
Isn't it easier to get in a minority group and do their thing than to live in this great, big, wide world?
You think this is kind of a bailout?
Kind of, a little bit.
It still looks to me like it's just like any other fad, right or wrong, that they simply do it to get stares and attention.
Yeah.
I have a 13-year-old son, and I can truthfully say that I'm a little worried about him coming home when he came home and wanted his ear pierced.
He did want that.
He did want it. It didn't come to pass. She made it through her growing up years, and I'm still hoping that he'll make it through his.
Yeah. I know some parents who hope that that's the worst crisis you face with your child. Yes.
I have a 14-year-old son, and I'm proud to say that he doesn't want to be labeled as anything. He's going to be his own person.
It's fine. They're doing their own thing. I'm a very conformist. I pierced my own son's ear. But what I want to know, what is their political statement?
There is no one political statement. This is not this is not the Hitler Youth movement here. These are individuals.
Provided and promotional fees paid by the following.
This Volvo Turbo has all the features you'd expect from a performance car, and one you don't. Up to 76 cubic feet of luggage space.
Article in the recent Playboy magazine titled Skank or Die about this very issue. And I thank you all for joining us. I hope you had a good time.